That's the most ultimate high you could ever get. So that's why the gang structure becomes so addictive, because it gives you a high. It gives you a high. So what happened to me, like, you know, I went and told my tia, you know what, tia, no se preocupe, don't worry, man. These guys are never going to come around anymore and mess around, right? But I had already made calls. I was like, hey, who's here from LA, man? I'm calling homies in Los Angeles, like, man, you know what? People trying to kill me, I don't even know who. I want to know where I'm at. So people had been deported before that I knew, and then I ended up going to meet with them and try just for the whole purpose of surviving. I was armed with the weapon, a firearm, 3 days after I arrived in El Salvador. Put it that way, okay? That's the level of impact that people like us are having going down there, right? We're not going down there as tourists. So anyways, the issue was there's all this violence. Kids came at me after that night, after that day, in the evening that same day actually, and there were 15 of them. I thought they were going to come and kill me. They're banging on the porch. What do you want? So I got my machete back in my hand. And they said, we want to talk to you. And I said, sure, come on in. There's about 15 of them. And they said, you know what? You know, we're all claiming MS, but nobody from La USA has come, an original from La USA has come here and jumped us in. You guys know what I just said? USA is how they say USA. So there was nobody from the barrio that had been deported or gone over there that had jumped them in. They were claiming it just because they felt like it and people were attracted to it. All these kids were attracted to it. So all of a sudden, they wanted me to jump in all in. So that was after they were trying to kick my ass and kill me. Now they were asking me to kick their asses. Right? I mean, people, common sense, will see that, but they will not. They wanted to be certified. And who has the certification? Gang members that are being deported. Now imagine the power that was put in my hand when all of a sudden I was told, whatever you want, you can control it. I have 15 soldiers ready to go to war for me now. Isn't that power? That's power. But I knew what that was. See, I didn't care about having power. I didn't care about, you know, starting cliques over there and all this. So, you know, my mind was to come back. But I said, I'd rather have them claiming my neighborhood on this block than 18th Street coming in and jumping them in. Right? So I did what I shouldn't have done, but at the moment I thought it was right. And we jumped them in. Right? And they started claiming the neighborhood. Well, they were already claiming the neighborhood, but now they were certified gang members. Right? Most of them are dead now. Because shortly after that, in 2004, the impact of the suppression, right, that started coming in, and basically the impact that gang violence was having in the economy in some ways, also brought out that anger, you know, especially post-war. So many people got together and they started forming what was become to be called the Sombra Negra, or the Black Shadow. And the Black Shadow was used to counter the gang violence, which was basically, and this is how it happened, they passed flyers throughout the community, different communities where gang existed, with names of people. And they said, you got 5 days to leave. If you don't leave in 5 days, we're going to come and kill you. This is a Sombra Negra. So it was a death squad, right, that was created to challenge. You know, that they didn't have to abide by any law. That they could go and target you based on what they felt, or if your name was dropped on the hat, this is what we're going to target. And they started going through every neighborhood. My name was in that hat, in that list. But when I went and talked to the homies, they said, hey man, not the homies down there, not the homies that got jumped in down there, but the homies that have been deported from the United States, they were like, man, for us, they're like another barrio, homes. They're like some fool trying to come into our neighborhood. All we gotta do is shoot back. And we got the weapons. So that was the mentality. See, these guys that have been deported from the United States had never or did not live, for the most part, the war or impact of the death squads, unless they've seen it as a child, if their mother got killed and whatnot, you know? Right? But a lot of this came, you know, a lot of the guys have not felt what it was to be faced with directly and be targeted by the death squads. But the kids down there, the ones that were that got jumped into the gang, they were fearful, like, oh my God, the death squads are coming. Because they had lived through the war. They have seen it all. They never fled. They were never taken. So anyhow, the point is, not even targeting them with death resulted in anything. And the impact that it had after in regards of the CAFTA, when CAFTA came through, that they invented the Plan Escoba in Guatemala, La Ley Antimara in Honduras, and the Mano Duras in El Salvador did not reduce gang violence. What it did was it centralized them in one place where now they were connected in all the states in El Salvador or departamentos, and where they were able to communicate now with the whole Central America. Because what happens when you get people together that never communicate, they communicate. So now they had all these people from different areas that were gang members, labeled gang members, now they were communicating in prison. So now all of a sudden they were able to communicate from San Salvador to San Miguel in a matter of just one phone call. Because there were people in prison able to communicate. So that's what happens. That's how the gangs were able to be globalized. Now, that was in Central America. Through the death squads, they also fled because the Ley Antimara basically killed a lot of them, or put them in prison. Now there's prison only for gang members in Central America. And many of them are fleeing because of the harsh ways in which they're being attacked. And they're coming to the United States. And they're going to different states. So, and because of the laws now, that if you come back after being deported, you face federal time in jail. Right? You can get up to 20 years in federal prison for coming back after being deported. So many of them don't want to do that time, so they flee to other states where they feel that they can go under the radar. But what has happened is that wherever they go, there's always kids that are messed up in the head, and the gang thing is attracted to them. So now you have sets of neighborhoods all throughout the United States. And now they're challenging that, once again, with suppression. Now it's the federal government that's going after these gangs with their community shield. You know, they're going at it with the secure communities policies. They're going after them with RICO, which is organized crime policies, right? And they're targeting these individuals and, you know, like organized crime. Do you think that's going to stop the gang problem? Do you think the death penalty for gang members will stop the death problem, the gang problem? What do you guys think? No. It won't. Because the key issue of why you guys are sitting here right now listening to me is because you guys are taking a class, Central American Studies, to learn about what to do in our communities, to understand our community. See, Father Greg Boyle, you guys read about him, right? He's got leukemia. Well, he's got cancer. You know, Tom Hayden, who you read about, he just had surgery this week because he had a heart attack. You know, I myself I'm currently under an indictment in federal court under RICO because I do this type of work. See, they're taking out People are dying. Who's going to be left to carry on the work? It has to be people like you.